Hello everyone, it's Stray Faye here with another episode of Olympia Soiree. Continuing Yosuga's route, I believe we're in chapter 6. Last episode we finally got to talk to Yosuga a little bit more, got to learn more about his terrible childhood down in Yomi. But at least he had a good patron, a guardian. He had Tsukiyomi to look after him. And provide a little bit of power with that as well, which is why he is considered a leader down here. And then it looks like Yosuga is getting a little flirty, although still also keeping his distance and also keeping secrets, like him not telling us that he could go to the surface with his permit. So he could go up and visit Byakuya, but he's being a little bit secretive about it. Anyway, let's begin the next chapter, White and Purple. No letters today. Before I go back up, are we gonna visit Yosuga again? Have some snacks? Yosuga isn't around. He promised he would attend my dance if he could. Yeah, if he could. It looks like he was busy with something. At the end. If he wasn't able to after all, I had no intention of reprimanding him for it. But if I could see him once, even for a moment... I'm guessing, did we not see him there? The crowd, might be hard to pick him out in a crowd. Yosuga has work to do too. He did serve me tea yesterday, so if I don't find him, I'm heading back. As I was thinking to myself, I caught sight of his back as he walked down the corridor. Oh, hi. Oh, he's walking away. Maybe he's heading down to see Tsukiyomi? I'd better not get in his way. It was then that I noticed. Something about him felt dark, as if he were consumed in thought. Sorry, just readjusting the mic. Yosuga? His whole body seemed fatigued, as if he would suddenly drop dead. After hesitating for a moment, I quietly decided to follow him. Don't make a sound. Slowly. Slowly. Keeping close to the cold walls of iron and stone, I crept along silently down the stairs. Are we going to where Tsukiyomi is? the creepy underground cave. What is he doing down here? Is he getting close to the water? I had never seen Yosuga like this before. Don't tell me he's thinking about taking a plunge. The expression reflecting off Shinimizu Spring was full of hatred. For someone or himself. The sight of it sent shivers down my spine. Doesn't look like he's glaring. Maybe he looks a little sad. What in the world has happened? What could you possibly loathe so much? I couldn't call out to him now, realizing I had probably seen something I shouldn't have. But for some reason, I couldn't turn back. I was worried about him. I should be minding my own business, right? I'm sure Yosuga doesn't want anyone to see him like this. I couldn't speak to him, but I couldn't leave him alone. I know, I was like, now I'm worried. Like, please don't take a plunge. Why are you looking in the spring water like that? Yosuga's situation seemed so dire that I was caught between revealing my presence and giving him the privacy he clearly sought. I'd better not call out to him. Yeah, what if he got scared and just fell in? feel bad, man. I knew that. But the bitterness in his eyes seemed to fill us both with distress. No, don't talk to him now. I stayed close to the wall and kept watch of him. I'm sure he'll go back up soon, so I should hurry and leave before he sees me here. I took a small breath and I was about to turn around when... Oh, no, touchy the water, no. Is he just like... Oh god, he seems so like more aloof or like... He seems put together, just teasing. Is he kind of like on the edge? Yosuga, no! Yosuga turned around at the sound of my voice and quickly withdrew his hand from the spring. Uh-oh. Now I'm thinking of like potential bad endings, like since we did make a save file in the last chapter. Yeah, I don't want him to plunge down into the spring. What are you doing? You of all people should know this spring is dangerous. Why are you here? Huh? Oh, have you come to see Tsukiyomi? We were following you. You can look kind of off. Should I tell him the truth? I would. I mean, you might spark some feelings there. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't set him off more than he already is. I knew I should mind my own business, more so after seeing him in such a state. But I couldn't lie. I'm sorry. I followed you down here. What? I saw you in the corridor and something didn't feel right. I was worried, so I decided to follow you. Worried? About me? Yes, you! You had better not do this again. This is no laughing matter. You realize how dangerous the water here is, right? What would you do if you contracted Haku from it? That is a good question indeed. Maybe he just feels like joining his family. And it's like those thoughts were probably just like swimming in his head. Wasn't thinking right. He was back to his usual self. But his depressed image was still vividly etched in my mind. I was just thinking, how water as clear as this could possibly bring about such devastation. He looked at the spring. Indeed, the water was crystal clear and beautiful. Any unknowing person would scoop it up into their hands to quench their thirst without hesitation. I think the legend of the spring is true. Tsukiyomi said there's a corpse sleeping somewhere down here that's the source of all disease. I have heard the same from him as well. But I suppose I was merely curious. He was smiling. Let's not be curious about the Haku water now. You touch the water, you're not coming back. But his smile seemed so pained. In any case, don't you dare touch that water here. Promise me that. Yeah, you gotta keep him tethered. Byakuya, you gotta keep him tethered to the world still. A promise? Between us? That's right. A promise to never do something like that again. You want me alive, don't you? We're gotta give him a reason to stay alive. His surprising reply was making me stare. What do you mean by that? Of course I want you alive. Is there a problem with that? No, I am very happy. I looked down to hide my blushing. I was really worried for a moment, but... Is he just playing with me again? I am not teasing you, you know. I am sincerely happy right now. I see. I apologize for worrying you. It's fine. As long as you understand. Yosuga smiled and looked at the spring again. I heard from Tsukiyomi that there's a place similar to this on Tenyo Island. Yeah, the Ikimizu? the life water? Huh? Oh, so Tsukiyomi told you about that too. Well, yes, as a matter of fact, there's a spring called Ikimizu Spring that looks just like this one. Oh, but the spring water doesn't give people haku. The water is cool and delicious, and the women of the White went there as part of a ritual to cleanse the body and mind. I heard it was Goddess Amaterasu's spring, which is why my mother went there daily, and... Before I could stop myself, tears started to well up in my eyes. My mind drifted back to the island as I recalled the happy days I spent there. Oh no, they're filling up. The eyes are filling up. I quickly wiped away my tears and put a smile on my face. I'm sorry about that. Poor thing. Yosuga gently put his hand on my shoulder. But you were also a poor thing as well. That was all it took for me to feel a renewed heat radiating throughout my entire body. This is so pathetic. I was the one who said yesterday that I wouldn't be held back by what happened on the island anymore. I know it was something you meant sincerely, but such things cannot be changed in only a day. I'm sorry, and thank you. Do you wish to return to Tenyo Island? I thought a bit before nodding. Just once, that's all. I mean, it's probably all in ruins by now anyway. It's just that I never had a chance to say goodbye to everyone. Yes, you are a woman of Tenyo Island. The last remaining precious, precious white. He moved closer to me ever so naturally. a little bit scary here. Hello? You must find your beloved soulmate as soon as possible. Mingled with the heat in my body was a sweet sensation running across my skin. It was so new and surprising that I couldn't help but shrink away from him slightly. It's like a scary type of love. He's so attractive, but there's something a little off on him that also makes you a little scared. But I have work to do, so I will be heading back. With that, he gave a smile like nothing happened and walked off towards the stairs. Ah! Is Tsukiyomi here? Was he just like watching? It's like that kid again. Trying to touch the water. All I could do was stand there and watch him go. If I chased after him, if I heard any more of his voice, I sure I would lose every last breath. Loves him so much she feels like she's gonna die. Alright, back to this plaza. What just happened? There's no way I can leave Yosuga alone now after seeing that. Have him on suicide watch now, like have a man on him at all times. And you must find your beloved soulmate as soon as possible. Just remembering it made me feel hot again. What was wrong with me? I want you to be my soulmate, but... People were making their way through the plaza. I could hear the usual conversation about me, but they didn't bother me at all now. I know that thinking about him isn't enough, but... And why don't we just ask? We just need to go to Shanaton, talk to Jigen, talk to Doma, try to convince elder sister. She's just like pining and doing nothing. Again, it is just an example. I mean to say I can be here for you in whatever manner you please. Do you think we're gonna take him as like some side piece or something? That's not what I meant. I frowned, looking at the sundial when... bathhouse staff, what are you doing here? Lady Olympia! Running towards me was the man from yesterday who worked at the bathhouse. I could tell from his urgency that something wasn't right. What is it? Is there a problem? He nodded in response to my whisper. Lord Yosuga wishes to speak with you urgently. Could you please come with me to Yomi? Gasp. First time he sent for us. Sir, Lady Olympia has arrived. I wonder how he knew we would be at the plaza. You must have someone, like, tailing us. Ah, good work. Thank you. You may take your leave. The man bowed and quietly departed. We were the only ones left now. I am sorry to have called for you so suddenly, but I am glad he found you so quickly. I didn't have any letters to deliver today, so I was just at the plaza. Good thing a good and bad thing your schedule seems to be so consistent. People know where you are. I admit he did catch me by surprise, but what happened? Would you mind hiding in the bathtub there for a moment? Why? In the bathtub? Not, like, naked, right? Are we spying on the conversation? I looked over at the bathtub at the very end of the room. There's no water in it, right? I assure you it's not a prank, but a matter of urgency. I really am glad you made it in time. Huh? Wait, you're not making any sense. A certain man will be here shortly. We will be having a conversation of a rather unpleasant nature. Ooh, unpleasant man. A certain man. Is it Sakyo? But it is something about which you must know. He was definitely not joking. Why not? I mean, you could, like, tell me the gist of it. Or do you want me to hear it for myself? There was a tension in his expression that could not be hidden. But I want you to promise me this. Do not say a word. If your presence is known, I will likely be killed. Okay, stakes are high. Do not say a peep. Now hurry. Make sure you keep yourself low and out of sight. Understood. There's a private little bathtub in here. How fancy. Is this enough? A bit lower. Like this? Good. That should work. Our conversation should not take too long. I like playing hide and seek, but to hide in a tub like this is kind of weird. Soon enough, I sensed that the guest arrived. Nervously, I snuck a careful peek. I hope he doesn't need to use the bathroom or anything. Assuming that the toilet is, like, in the same room as the bathtub. Welcome, Lord Sakyo. Alright, so it is Sakyo. I figured if it's an unpleasant conversation. Your business appears to be thriving. I owe every success to the generosity of others. I exist only because of my dear friends on the surface. No need to be so blatantly sarcastic with me. Let us get right to business. Why is he here? I do recall Yosuga saying he knew him, but... Your messenger has informed me of your offer, but such a proposal is rather difficult to believe. No doubt it could merely be a sinister plan against me, but I wanted to send for you if only to hear it denied. Though I did not expect you to accept my invitation so soon. That messenger is indeed one of my servants. I do beg your pardon. Well, I've never seen him before, and he will not give me his name. From the other day. Are they talking about the man from before? I have instructed my men to speak without leaving evidence. There's no telling how it may be abused. He just wants them to work covertly, so they don't leave any any other evidence behind. Yeah, you probably have the same men who, like, kidnapped Byakuya before. I could not agree more. So, he doesn't want to leave any proof. Now then, what is your reply? Before that, I must ask, why do you wish for me to wed Olympia? Okay. We have someone who is for the coupling, but there has to be some ulterior motive here. It took all my strength to keep from yelling out. I'm not hearing things, am I? What in the world are they talking about? Yeah, why would Sakyo be for Yosuga? He was against Riku. What would he gain if we and Yosuga got together? Do you think he'd have more, like, access to us? Is that what he's thinking? It is because you are the most suitable. The most suitable, you say? We need her to bear children of the white as soon as possible. However, she cannot do it alone. Records show that women on Tenyo Island only bear females of the white. I have never confirmed that for myself, but if that is the case, it does not matter with whom she chooses to mate. So yeah, there'll be no air disputes with their new purple clan that they're making. There are many ways to have her bear children, but considering her status and the island's future, it is best that her children have a father. A father from a prestigious color class. Even if he's considered like a criminal? Have I misunderstood you? I am indeed of the secondary purple, but I was also exiled to Yomi and prohibited from mating. You have not forgotten this, have you? If she is successful in bearing your child, I will have your exile lifted in exchange. Wait, you're putting the cart before the horse here. I thought mating was prohibited, and you're telling him to mate. To allow him to mate. What? I must be hearing things. I was desperate to believe so. It seemed too unreal. My mind couldn't keep up. Maybe he sees, maybe Sakyo sees Yosuga as a pawn, and he just wants a way for Byakuya. If Byakuya has children, if she bears heirs, then wouldn't Byakuya herself be disposable? Because, like, now they have the next generation all set. So yeah, I guess maybe he sees it as a way to get a disposable Lady of the White. Why are Yosuga and that man having this conversation? I wanted to just jump out and ask them myself. No, you gotta stay quiet. I tightened my fists as hard as I could so the pain would keep me grounded. Are they really talking about me? Returning to the surface. So you don't want to end your life in Yomi, do you? She is of the rare white. Unfortunately, previous tests using her blood have not yielded the desired results. He wants to look for other things. Which means there is still much to do. You are committed. She is my last hope, after all. Last? But as the last remaining white, the situation remains far too precarious. There is a disease on this island, the fearsome, hideous disease you know very well. Akaza of the Kodawari has given her 1 year, but we cannot afford to take that long. If she were to lose her life to Haku, all would be lost forever. I'd be like, that's just an excuse. He just wants more. He just wants more research material. She must mate as soon as possible, so we can secure the next of the white bloodline. And Byakuya is really gonna have to become a leader, so she can protect her children. Surely you must know how mad that sounds. Call me mad if you wish. In other words, you seek more test subjects of the white to advance your research. And you wish for me to be the sire. It would be a beautiful love story, don't you think? The young man condemned to Yomi for his family iniquity falls in love with the maiden of the white and returns to the world of the sun. Her dignity will remain intact, and you will be honored, and the people will celebrate your sincere love. The type of story one might enjoy at a theater. I see only benefit in this plan for you. I believe the secret to longevity is a healthy distrust of such stories. If you refuse, I will have to use Nagusa of the Jade. Oh no, did he sick Nagusa on us before? Yosuga, help. We don't want Nagusa involved again. Okay. Sakyo was plucking the strings there too, huh? Maybe he's also working with Cannon. That would explain how he got the gun. Yosuga of the Purple, I ask out of respect to you. The Violet and the Purple are of the same class tier, and we are keeping watch over your former district. As your comrade, my wish is that you return to the surface as soon as possible. After all, Lord Hiriko will be saddened to see the Purple class go extinct. This is a love story I've prepared just for you. A role for you and no one else. But it's very convenient for you, isn't it, Sakyo? I am afraid I cannot give you my answer now. Might I have some time to consider your proposal? I look forward to your agreement. I could smell blood. My nails dug deep into my hand. Okay. Alright, so we want Yosuga, but we don't want to be manipulated like this. Lady Amaterasu, please tell me this is all a bad dream. You heard all of that, didn't you? I heard it loud and clear. What's going on here? Was that conversation really about me? It was about you, Olympia of the White. Ah, I see blood on your hand. Before I knew it, Yosuga was holding up my hand. Why are we licking it? That's not, you're gonna, that's so weird how, like, in a lot of these, like, tropes, like, someone hurts, like, gets a cut on their hand, and they're like, alright, and then their first instinct is to put the finger in the mouth. I was like, that's not sanitary, but I guess it looks romantic, I guess, from this perspective. It's sensual looking. A sweet numbness ran through me from the warm, soft spot he just touched. Similar to what I felt back at Shinimizu Spring, a heat rose up from inside me. Yosuga? Hold still, or you'll get blood on your blouse. Are you a vampire? Stop it! but... Yosuga's tongue gently licked away my blood. What are you, some animal? Come on, you got some gauze here or something? Something to wash this? The cut continued to bleed, and he ran his tongue over it again. He just any excuse to lick her, I guess. Wait! Poor thing. You had to endure so much. Let me put some medicine on that. Come. Okay, the love doctor here. He was acting like nothing unusual happened. But I was holding my breath the entire time he applied the salve to my wound. Yosuga, how do you know him? As Sakyo mentioned, after Haku struck the purple, the Violet have been maintaining control over the open district. It is merely a pretext. I blackmailed many prominent people in the military in order to have the birth agreement laws approved. Sakio acted as negotiator. Birth agreement? Wait. Oh, you mean in Yomi. I was like, I was just thinking of Byakuya. Yeah, the women in Yomi being able to choose. Perhaps this is payback. Don't say that. You talked about being my... Yes, well, about that. I thought you would not believe me if I told you myself. This isn't about whether I would have believed you or not. I was so confused. I couldn't control the emotions that were surfacing now. Surprise, frustration, regret, sadness, and a strange sense of joy. To be honest, I was surprised when the messenger told me last night. Then again, it certainly sounds like a plan he would devise. Yeah, he just wants to sire some more children of the white, just like he is making some more children of the purple in the hospital. Oh god, now I'm like worried about those kids in there. So, does that mean you're gonna be my husband? Upsetting, isn't it? To hear something like this out of the blue. I mean, she would be happy to be, like, to have Yosuga as a husband, but, like, not like this. not in such a manipulating way. I can only nod in response. He was so calm about it that I was slightly irritated. Yosuga? How can you be so calm? I was confused in my own way last night. Really? He sure doesn't seem like he would have been. Is he thinking... Is that why he was thinking about taking the plunge? Like, he doesn't want to use Byakuya like that? It seems that the white and the purple are connected by fate. The coldness in his voice and expression made me go tense. Let us go on a little outing tonight. Huh? Okay, date time? Do you have a curfew? I would not want Lord Doma to kill me, so I will send a messenger. Where do you want to go? Is it far from here? It is perhaps the place you wish to see the most. It wouldn't do to attract attention, so we should wait until the sun sets before leaving. Alright, where are we going? Alright, nighttime. Are we on the surface? Are we going to Tenyo Island? What? Yosuga, the beach is up ahead. He didn't tell me where we were going, no matter how many times I asked. Maybe Tsukiyomi told him the way? Like, to go to Tenyo Island? Are we going there again? We left for the mystery location when night fell. Yes, I can see Tenyo Island from here. Let us borrow that boat for a short while. Huh? He's just nonchalantly taking us to the island. He's like, let's go. Yosuga, you don't tell me you're gonna take me to Tenyo Island. We can't get there. But you cried just this morning, wanting to return. Well, yes. I do want to go back home. But no matter how close it is, it's impossible. Do you see those whirlpools and the large one there? Only Tsukiyomi can get past them. I'm afraid that is one of his little lies. He did not want you to commandeer a boat and set off to sea alone. Yeah, I mean, whenever Kuroma's around, he's just like, alright, go. And we're like, what? He unraveled the mooring line. Why is there a glossary entry for mooring line? A rope used to tie a boat to shore. Why is there a glossary entry for that? There's some other glossary entries I would like maybe conpeto or something. Little lie? What do you mean? Did Tsukiyomi tell you that? Why don't we go out first? If we are unsuccessful, we need only turn back. I'm also curious about the island you call home. I can't think of a reason to stop him. We need to collect some Ikimizu water while we're there. We gotta help Kuroma too. But we don't know. We're not, like, gonna think about collecting that, are we? I looked briefly at Tenyo Island before putting my hand on the edge of the boat. Alright, we're going on a sea adventure. I know we're out here already, but please don't push yourself. If you think we can't get through, we can turn around like you said. Understood. It'll be some time yet before I reach the whirlpools. So will you allow me to entertain you with another story? Yosuga smiled as he continued rowing the boat. I was at Lord Jigen of the Red's manor when tragedy struck, and my people were ravaged by Haku. That probably, like, inadvertently saved him, right? Like, Jigen would have felt pity, while other people might have been clamoring for his execution. He is an outsider, as you know, with invaluable wisdom about medicine that I had gone to learn from him. I was so young that I did not understand what happened. How my older sister, my father, and my mother had fallen to Haku. Yeah, that must have been fast. Like, he could just leave for a day, unless he was at Jigen's for a while learning. Yosuga's voice was quiet. For a moment, all I could hear was the sound of the waves and the oars. I wondered back then, why did no one call for a doctor right away? Everyone knew how deadly Haku was. Could they have not asked for help from the others? I still do not know the reason for it. That day, the Purple District was engulfed in flames right before my eyes. Now, it's kind of odd how they could just have Haku and be incinerated like that so quickly. Like, huh? I feel like this maybe was planned. Fire is able to purify the filth that is Haku. He spoke in a calm and solemn tone. The waves that beat against the side of the boat were louder than he was. It was then that I became a resident of Yomi. Just the other day, he was like with Jigen, like leader of the Red, like living it up, the noble life, and then next day, down in Yomi. And much to my surprise, Tsukiyomi did not devour me. Instead, he taught me about fortune-telling, the world beyond this ocean, and the preparation of rare medicines not even my clan knew about. I exist now because of him. Boys? Wait, are we learning about boys? Oh, from Tsukiyomi, okay.
Yes, they live on the other island.
That's an odd memory, huh? That was strange. I heard that somewhere before. The boat lurched just as I saw the edge of an old memory. We were much closer to the whirlpools now. There's the whirlpool. Ahead of us were giant whirlpools that twisted like dark, angry snakes. They surged and grew like mouths that wanted to swallow us whole. Yosuga, do you hear that? It's no use, and it's so dark out here. We should head back. Suddenly, something unexpected happened. The whirlpools are disappearing? I wasn't just imagining things. It's like they know it's hers. Like they're letting her back in. The torrents that had been raging just a moment ago slowly subsided as we approached. The whirlpools are here to protect Tenyo Island. Tsukiyomi told me that they will always welcome the island's women who come through. Huh. Very sentient whirlpools here. I sat stunned as my strength began to leave me. The whirlpools had all but vanished now. Unbelievable! Tsukiyomi never told me about that before. Like I said, it was a little lie to ensure your safety. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't do for like a little girl just be taking a boat out by herself, even if the whirlpool didn't get her. Like a wave could just cast her aside. Even if you are familiar with this sea, it'd be too dangerous to row a boat here as a child. Well, that makes sense, but... Because, like, he could have, like, brought her here. The boat slowly continued on its way. Back to the island I had been longing for. Mother... Everyone... Seeing the beach come into view brought tears to my eyes. I felt that I might drop to my knees and weep the moment we landed. There, we've arrived. Alright, back on the island. Okay, so we get to come here in Kuroba and Yosuga's route. Aw, don't cry. I know everything's all overgrown. Nature is consuming all the buildings. I couldn't hold them back anymore. Tears began to flow at the sight of the familiar structures covered in moss. I'm sorry. It's just that... It's been so long. We are the only ones here, so you are free to cry as much as you want. You have been away far too long. Tonight, you're home again at last. It would be strange if you didn't cry. Yosuga gently rubbed my back. But I don't want him to see me break down like this. Whirlwind of emotions here. God, like Sakyo's plotting something. We went to our little home island, get to cry it out. Yosuga's being very nice, trying to just give her what she wants. It only took 10 years or so. All the structures and trees were completely covered with green moss. Yet, strangely enough, it didn't feel like it was in ruins. I think Ikimizu Spring should be up ahead. With Yosuga at my side to support me, I slowly walked atop the carpet of moss. Finally. This place is overgrown with flowers. Ah! I finally crumpled to my knees, seeing something I thought I'd never see again. Look at all those Iroha flowers! The flowers stretching out like the threads of a pure white cocoon, swayed bewitchingly in the night breeze, nestled around the spring. Thin vines spread out across the place, twisted into knots and blending into the stone. This is truly remarkable. I never imagined this place could look like this. The Iroha flowers have been blooming here for as long as I can remember, but I never thought there could be this many. I guess maybe because the women aren't picking them and like sending them down to the ocean, right? That's how like they pick their husbands, and like the mice deliver the flowers. It was as if they were protecting the now abandoned ground. Was it nostalgia that was making me feel this way? You are right. It does look like Shinimizu Spring. I cautiously reached out to scoop the water into my hands. It's cold. I'm not dreaming any of this. I really am back on Tenyo Island. I heard Tsukiyomi comes here to pick Iroha flowers for you because this is the only place they bloom. That's right. It's part of the ritual for me to wear one when I pray to Lady Amaterasu. But you wear it even when you are not on stage. I instinctively reached for the Iroha flower on my cap, maybe just kind of reminds her of home. I wonder if it's like a talisman. This flower is the only thing that connects me to this island. Looking at it encourages me. I guess it's just a part of me now. I picked a flower that was in bloom beside me. Maybe I don't need to ask Tsukiyomi to get them for me anymore. if we can row past the whirlpools. Yosuga gently smiled and picked an iroha flower as well. After twisting the stem gently in his fingertips for a moment, he delicately set it down on the surface of Ikimizu Spring. Oh yeah, we're gonna do some flower fortunes. Do you know the story of the lunar fairy? Oh yeah, we heard it before in a few routes. Lunar fairy? I don't think so. The day of the full moon, a single iroha flower is placed on the doorstep of a Tengu Island's man's home. When the moon rises, he takes it with him to a hidden cave, where a boat will be waiting to take him to Tenyo Island. Take him here? How strange. I've never heard that before. That's how your daddies come to the island. I wonder if it's similar to the Moonlight Shell legend you told me before. It is not. The story of the Lunar Fairy is not merely a legend. Yeah, there's some people who still remember it, like Lord Fuso. This island is cursed by the goddess Amaterasu, and no man can be born here, nor live here. Well, yes. Which is why men need to be brought here from Tengu Island as husbands. Yeah, someone has to sire the children. And then hopefully the men go back so Lady Amaterasu's wrath doesn't set upon them. Which I think, it said like, Byakuya's dad tried to stay, and then he ended up dying because of it. It was like being struck by lightning. I could only look at Yosuga without saying a word. Tsukiyomi really did not teach you anything, did he? Not about the whirlpools, or even the lunar fairy. Well, that's... Maybe you thought she was too young, or it wasn't relevant anymore. Have you not wondered how children were born on this island without fathers? Poor parthenogenesis, I don't know. Well... I was only 5 years old when I left the island, so I never really thought about it. I only learned how babies were born after living on Tengu Island. My mother just told me that she found my father washed ashore. I thought he somehow made it through the whirlpools. So I figured it was the same for everyone else on the island. I guess there were like no other kids to like converse with. I thought like, oh, well, if there's another kid, another man has to wash ashore. But Tsukiyomi did teach me a lot of things besides that. He taught me reading, arithmetic, and the world beyond the ocean. He read a lot of books to me, and he tended to me when I was hurt, and... Perhaps he thought there was no need for you to know. There was no one left on the island, so the lunar fairy has not sailed for years. The fact is, you are searching for a mate on Tengu Island. I guess you're right. An image came to mind. On a boat floating atop the waves on the night of a full moon. To tell you the truth, Tsukiyomi was not the one who told me that story. Really? Then who? Is it Lord Fuso? Oh? Ah? Hello. Yosuga? Hello. We're not on track for a bad ending. Are you threatening me? I have always wanted to come to this island. I knew one day I would do so. There's a story that we men of the purple have been told since childhood. Yosuga, what the? Please move. That's a very sharp pipe you have. Why is it sharp like a needle? Maybe that's the purpose. It's not actually a pipe. It's a stabby device. That a Tenyo Island woman killed a man from the purple. If we someday found ourselves here, we should exact our revenge. No, that wasn't true though. Like The women of the white only protect themselves if they feel like they're being assaulted. Okay, this is a twist. The women of Tenyo Island. You have some kind of power, don't you? The Doma Ugh. Ugh. Yosuga knows. Don't tell me that you brought me here tonight to kill me. It's a very elaborate plot to kill her. I mean, I guess no one could find the body here. Except for Tsukiyomi. The icy cold tip of a smoke pipe traced along my skin. Have you never heard this story? The one of your kind killed a man of the purple. He probably did something bad. Maybe that's why the purple were cursed. Oh god, I hope it wasn't Yosuga's, like, father or something. No, never! Suddenly, I felt incredibly sorry about my response. But... I can't deny that it didn't happen. My voice sounded weak. It's true that my people possess the power of Batsu. He pressed the tip against my throat, sending a sharp jolt of pain through my body. Oh, I guess he's just using us. He's looking for information. Someone here killed a man from the purple? I mean, yeah, but he probably did something bad. There's no way I could refute his accusation. After all, I did destroy Doma's hand.
It is important to preserve the white, but as with other women on Tenyo Island, you can only bond with a man you crave with all your heart. When touched by a man you do not trust.
Uh-oh. We're not gonna Batsu him, are we? I'm sorry. An apology spilled from my mouth. You were not the one who killed him. Why apologize? Well, you have a stabby object by my throat. What else? What do you want me to say? I know I don't need to, but as a white, the more I said, the worse I felt. No, even if I apologize, that man won't come back to life. But excuses and apologies meant nothing now. A growing sense of hopelessness slowly silenced me. It's like he's being scary, but it's like kind of a sexy scary. He's like, oh, here's a man who could seduce me, but then kill me, like, on a whim. Okay, I guess some people might be into that. The dangerous man. Now, will you not kill me? Hang on. Is he baiting her? Yosuga! If that story is true, as a woman of the white, you can make me disappear if I touch you against your will. You're not gonna make me Batsu you, are you? Huh? So, will pressing this against your neck be enough for you to kill me? Okay, if you really want to die, don't make Byakuya do it. That would make her feel so bad. How about you go back to Shinimizu and take a plunge? I looked up at him breathlessly. Me? Kill Yosuga? It sounded as though he was talking to someone else. There was a sorrow in his voice that I couldn't understand. If you are a woman of the white, won't you kill me? His cold, sweet voice and the look in his eyes made me tremble. This is a poisonous love here. He was so close that I could feel his breath. No, I won't. Yeah, she wouldn't even use it on Nagusa. The pipe against my throat twitched just a bit. I will never kill you. Never? Why? I am here now, trying to kill you. Yet you will never kill me. That's... The answer lay deep within my heart. But it was... was still too fragile and afraid to reveal itself. Even though he's pointing a knife at you. Pretty much at knife point, you still love him. Or is it that you wish for me to kill you tonight? I must thank you. I can finally settle the bitter grudges of the men from my clan. His words weakened my whole body. He too was the only survivor of his people. The weight he carried on his back was one that I carried as well. Byakuya didn't do anything. Is it really your wish to kill me and have your revenge? The silver pipe against my neck twitched again. Long ago, a shapeless god separated spirit crystal into two to create a man and woman. Since then, humans have been born without half of their soul and are fated to search for the one who would complete them. Which is why when two halves meet, love prevents them from parting ways. Yosuga? What are we spouting now? Why in the world was he saying that now? Instead of trying to push him away from me, I simply gazed up into his eyes. As you know, I bear the sins of the purple and am prohibited from mating. But what if my soulmate were to appear in front of me? It would drive him crazy. But he wouldn't be allowed to mate with her. What if someone appears who has made me fall madly in love? I think perhaps, if I am able to give up what is forbidden, then what I am feeling is not love after all. Tsukiyomi really has taught me many things. Among them, the story of a girl who lived on Tenyo Island before the Red Calamity. Huh? What was he trying to say? Tsukiyomi was telling stories about her. I heard she was enchanted by rainbows, that she cried and ran from sea snakes, and took naps with him in his boat. It was such a different story from the one I was told of the women of the white. And did he fall in love with the stories? It was difficult to believe such a girl could be the type of monster to lure men to her island and consume their souls. What did she look like? With her white hair and her white skin, I wondered. How did her eyes twinkle? How did she laugh? And how would she? A soft light filled his eyes for a moment. But all too soon, the dream was over. The end came abruptly with the Red Calamity. When I heard the girl was to be taken in by Lord Doma of the Yellow, I fell into despair. She'd become far too stately and noble to consort with others, and certainly never stepped foot in Yomi. Even if by some mistake she did come down, she would never spare its residents a thought. Oh, but she turned out to be really different. That was what I believed. But then she began her deliveries in such high spirits. He was talking about me. He's very obsessed with her from an early age. Uh-oh. I was the last of the white bloodline, the one taken in by Doma, the one delivering letters. Which is why I wanted to confirm for myself whether there really was a soulmate for me in this world. The hand gripping the smoke pipe loosened. Oh. All right. Okay. A little bit of back and forth here. First you're having something sharp at my neck, and now we're doing gentle kisses and caresses. Ah! I was transfixed by the sight of his graceful, slender fingers unraveling my ribbon. The next moment, my body went tense at the feeling of his lips on my neck. Just stop! Yosuga! I don't want to. Uh-oh. He has her alone. Okay, maybe we should have worried about him. He was the man. He did say, like, how do you know I'm not a bad man? He was just being very nice to her. But yeah, like, he knows he's a little twisted. Next was my skirt. Okay, we're moving a little fast here. Got a little whiplash here. Riku was like dragging his feet until the last chapter, and now Yosuga. Okay, it's kind of like the midpoint here, but still. His fingers lifted it up, gently caressing my thigh up to my hip. Stop! Let me go! I don't want to. I was powerless with fear, unable to move. Oh, okay. Consent here, please. Also very much polar opposite of Tokisada. Tokisada was like asking permission that it was like kind of insufferable. We're like, okay, we know. We said yes like 50 times. Do you know what it means to mate? Are you going to give me a demonstration now? My hip rose naturally as he gently nibbled on my ear. Overwhelming my desire to escape him was a lustful flame that burned inside me. We are truly all alone here. Whatever it is we do, no one will ever find out. I wonder if her hair is going to turn purple. Would that be like a symbol that she accepts it? Is he gonna freak out if it turns purple like the other guys did? For instance, I could ignore my punishment and take you into my arms and no one would know. He sucked hard on my neck, making me gasp. His palm pressed against my thigh and spread my legs apart. Oh my, he's very, very pushy and passionate now. After all those times of him supporting us in the other routes, he's very, very forceful now. No! Then kill me. Oh, does he just like, alright, I either take a piece of heaven or I go to hell. He's like, I don't care. Are you not of the white? You should stop this horrible man from defiling you. He pushed himself between my widely open legs. Just thinking of the kind of position I was in made it hard for me to breathe. The white possessed the power of Batsu to defend themselves against foolish men like me. Or so I was told. No. The tip of his tongue traced the edge of my collarbone and my hips quivered again. I was so embarrassed and ashamed, but my body was accepting his weight against me. Or must I do something even worse to make it happen? His fingers inched up my thigh again. No, please, wait. I mustered a feeble attempt to protest, but I was overcome by emotion that the rest of my strength left me. If only were it that I could refuse. Suddenly, I no longer felt the weight of his body against mine. Oh, he decided to be like, alright, that's enough. Do you understand your situation now? Yosuga? Do you recall what he said? That he would use Nagusa of the Jade if I refused. This is what he meant by that. And something did happen. Was that just a demonstration? That was... Okay, maybe he was trying to prove a a very vivid point. The man I had only known by name. Suddenly, an image of me being touched by this faceless man appeared in my mind. No. It was far different, a different kind of fear than the one I experienced just a moment ago. Oh, was she like... She was kind of actually accepting him. She was saying no, but she wasn't, like, stopping him. Like, he wasn't, like, batsuing him. But though, she didn't batsu Nagusa either, so I don't know. There was no excitement, no affection. This new idea was so frighteningly unpleasant that it made my stomach churn. I will do away with that, Sakyo. Yosuga? Oh. Well, Sakyo has another enemy now. Oh, well, I wouldn't say another. Riku isn't after him this time. But Yosuga is. Now. He said it without any reservation. So I broke one of his arms and burned his permit right before his eyes. It was even more ruthless than before, but somehow strangely beautiful. I knew how foolish it was of me to fall for him even more. Byakuya, you really like dangerous men in this route. As long as he is alive, he will pursue you relentlessly. What do you mean by do away with? Is just as it sounds. I shall make him disappear. Wait, don't do that! Yosuga looked at me with cold eyes. You wish to be violated by a man you do not love, and have your children preyed upon along with yourself? I couldn't respond. Of course I didn't want that to happen. But is that any reason to kill someone? Maybe. Morality must be forgotten at times like these. He chuckled as if he knew what I was thinking. Such compassion for others will do you no good. He said it so naturally. It is likely that I've become obsessed with you. I cannot bear the thought of another man holding you. Yosuga? I wasn't sure what expression I should have on my face, especially after what he did just a moment ago. I feel as though I have the right to kill Nagusa the moment he lays a hand upon you. Nagusa, you better be careful. You're gonna get whacked. I know he was pretty brazen with Karoba. Oh god, that means like I thought Canon might have like sicked Nagusa on us, but like having Sakyo do it, that almost feels worse, because like Karoba trusted Sakyo, or at least respected him. So to have him use Nagusa that way just feels like especially wrong. Strange. I am still unsure myself what is driving these feelings. Perhaps I simply wish to defile you with my own hands. Or perhaps it is so I could have my revenge on the white for killing my brethren. I mean, I think you're kind of young. You don't even have that many memories with your brethren, right? Well, I guess we could say the same about Byakuya, though. You are the goddess of the white, the most precious and beautiful existence in this world. The sun does not shine its light into Yomi. Nothing exists there that is pure and white. Does he want to drag her into hell with him? So it must be that I wish to drag you, who shines more brightly than anyone else, down to the depths of the earth. Yeah, that's like that image. That image seems quite romantic, I guess. Mythological. Could such wicked emotions truly be love? I didn't myself know love enough to answer his question. Well, there is all sorts of love, I guess. I was sure even the dictionaries in the library at the manor wouldn't contain the words I was looking for. He's definitely a little bit of mania in here, right? A little manic love. Death to the women of the white. The women of the white are lustful monsters of evil who deserve no compassion. That was what the men of the purple said. But you tried to save my life from the Shinimizu Spring. And this very night you swore through teary eyes that you would never kill me. For a white, you are kind. I won't kill you. I spoke before I even realized it. Because I decided to never use my powers on anyone again and... Never mind. And because I have feelings for you. I'm not gonna say that part out loud yet. I couldn't say that to him. I was afraid that if I told him, he would take me completely, body and soul. Oh, he's like ready to devour her here and now. I can say this. I want you to live. I see. The corners of his lips raised slightly. But I couldn't tell whether it was a smile or not. In that case, let us call a truce between the purple and the white for the time being. Instead, I would like to propose a deal. Huh? I want you to choose me as your husband, so we can catch Sakio off guard. Oh, maybe that might make him a little happy. Huh? In return, I will protect you and do away with him. Wait, I told you already that I don't want you to kill him. He's like, I don't care. You say that because you do not know him. His eyes. The memory was still fresh in my mind. They were the same hate-filled eyes from when he gazed into Shinimizu Spring. I'm sure what Sakio said came as a surprise, but he is more than a threat to just you. I suspect he is concealing another agenda, one to get rid of me. Yosuga? Once more. He was able to say such a horrible thought so casually. I have been privy to details of the scandals by the upper echelons of the military, meaning I am a nuisance to him. After you have borne a child, he will find some way to eliminate me. Without my protection, you'll be at the mercy of his experiments. Yeah, that's what I pretty much thought. Like once he has more subjects, yeah, he could just do whatever he wants with Byakuya, because he'll have a new progeny to make more heirs. No, perhaps he will keep me alive. That way, he can leverage my safety in exchange for your cooperation. Or perhaps he will kill me, then force you to marry someone from another color class. It is said that the white bear only daughters of the white. He may wish to validate that theory by having men of each class breed with you. Oh my god. Stop! That's a horrible... Oh god, that's worse than canon. He would do so in a heartbeat. That is just how mysterious the white of Tenyo Island are. It may have been against your will, but I believe you made the right choice to keep yourself safe inside Lord Doma's manor. But now you have left the manor to find your husband. Akaza may have had good intentions, but it has become a unique opportunity for Sakio. You, who are 18, can now mate and bear children. And that is where I come in to take my place of honor. He twirled my ribbon around his finger and gave it a kiss. The mere gesture sent a sweet shiver through my body. If this is true and you don't need to be my husband and risk danger, So you will allow another man to embrace you? I bit my lip a little. Just 2 weeks ago, when I was completely isolated at the manor, I would have laughed at those words. You are the last remaining white, aren't you? Stop wasting time roasting in this hellhole. Get to work finding a man and having babies. But I couldn't laugh it off now. What happened back in Yomi came back to me. You're willing to lose your pride, to lose any means of protecting yourself and your children in the future. Those words jogged my memory. You are also destined to become the leader of the White once you bear children. And she's gonna have to protect them. Just like how other people are trying to abduct and prey on her, she's gonna have to prevent other people from trying to abduct and prey on her children. I made up my mind back then. To protect the children of the White, to lead and protect them. Well, of course I want to protect them. After answering in a shaky voice, I realized that I still didn't have a firm vision of the future yet. My child. Someone else of the white blood beside me. Do not worry. You will not need to do much. All you need to do is pretend that you love me. Well, but... is pretending going to be enough? I think he wants actual love. I think he's kind of like Alan now. I gave him the same voice, but now it's not just the purple hair. He kind of has like a manic love thing going on for him. You are unfortunately not a skilled liar, meaning deception is out of the question. Let me be the one to handle the dirty work. After all, I live in Yomi for the purpose of taking on all unsightly matters in this world. He said it without a shred of hesitation. That was who he was. I was again overwhelmed and saddened at the same time. This world was responsible for making Yosuga say such horrible things. All of the unsightly matters. Sorrow, joy, frustration. My emotions were too much to handle anymore. And now she's gonna break down crying. Too much has happened here, jeez. His idea of preparing a suitable husband for you is not a misguided one. You are both worshipped and feared by the people of the island. If you bore a child to some unknown man, issues related to the Hazushi would certainly arise. I would be wonderfully suited for the role as a man from the secondary tier, who can be killed without public outcry. Stop it! However, should they publish news of our engagement, those longing for your hand in marriage may mourn the loss and move on. I almost told him that there was no such person. But I had a meager sense of dignity remaining, and a feeling that if I answered that way, it'd be taken as acceptance of his proposal. Just assuming, my voice shook with embarrassment. Assuming an article came about your becoming my husband, and assuming you got rid of him, then what? That I do not know. I didn't think that far ahead. I do not take back anything I said earlier. I could embrace you right here and now if I wanted to. But I am not foolish enough to believe you are completely in love with me. Huh? Completely. Maybe just a little bit? I heard a gasp of amazement coming from somewhere. But I realized it was my own voice. Which is why this proposal between us is to set things in motion. I understand you are attached enough to not have killed me this night. If you do actually fall in love with me, if I find that my feelings for you are truly love. If the woman who is the other half of my soul. That feeling inside me was still fragile and scared. But strangely enough, it burned again with heat. Strong enough to fuel the desire to kiss him now. If he could only touch me. To think that I only realized it now. Well, I cannot force you to sleep with me. Without your consent, it'll only be rape, and love cannot be one-sided. Well, I guess you're going a little bit far before. He spoke calmly without even a twitch of his brow. I can't tell if he's serious or indecisive, or if he's simply playing with my feelings. I said I would protect you, so I will do what I can to honor your wishes. But he just untied my ribbon a while ago. I thought that to myself, but I was too embarrassed to say it aloud. I understand what you're telling me, but as far as becoming my husband goes, I can't give you my answer now. I see. I'm not trying to defend that Sakyo person or anything, but it could be love that I felt for Yosuga. Even so, I couldn't entrust myself to him yet. He still concealed himself from me, even now. So much has happened. I don't think I could take any more now. I'd like to speak to you again later, after I've taken some time to calm down. You certainly can. It's gonna be dangerous going to his room now. And promise me this. Never take the ribbon off my blouse again without my permission. Understood. I promise. I will not untie it without permission. I nodded repeatedly in response. Now then, we should return to Tengu Island. Before I arouse the ire of the sleeping goddess Amaterasu. Okay. Alright, back to the manor. Made it back safe. Woo! Had a wild time there. I'm back, Daifuku. Ugh. You should have come. Could have protected me.
Welcome back. You're late today.
I went to Tenyu Island tonight.
Huh?
It isn't set in stone yet, but I think Yosuga is gonna be my husband for a time.
Yosuga's your husband? What in the world? Please explain what happened.
It seems like long ago, someone on Tenyu Island killed a man from the purple.
Was it Lord Yosuga? Did he tell you all about this? Ibe, please tell me.
Daifuku was squeaking intensely at me. I must have made him so worried. Well, can't respond to him though. I heard she was enchanted by rainbows, that she cried and ran from sea snakes, and that she took naps with him in his boat. It was such a different story from the one I was told of the women of the White. There's so many things in this world that I still don't know about. And how would she? Huh? Come to think of it, what was he about to say? Maybe I simply misheard him with everything else that was going on. A little stressful time there. He's just trying to, like, appease his emotions. So much had happened, my mind and heart were at their limit. I somehow managed to change my clothes before collapsing onto my bed in exhaustion. Oh, man, what a roller coaster. I felt sad for him, and now I'm not so sure. Now he's really showed himself to be evil. I guess he is a demon. He is the Lord of Hell. He's like, I gotta make sure she knows it. Well, I need to cool off a bit. Rest my voice. It's an extra long chapter, so I hope you enjoyed it. I'll do the next chapter, Beautiful Handkerchief. Maybe it'll kind of like mellow out a bit. Thinking of like the handkerchief, I just think of like the Karoba thing that we had before, where it's like, hey, just drop a handkerchief, and then him just coming by and picking it up. Just setting her up. Alright, anywho, yeah, hope you guys are having a fun and relaxing time. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.